In this video, I'm going to teach you 5 formal prepositional phrases which will be particularly useful if you're planning on taking a Cambridge English exam, but they're also useful in the real world. I don't know if I have to say that every time in every video. But a prepositional phrase is a group of words that starts with a preposition and contains its object. These types of phrases are particularly useful if you're preparing for a Cambridge English exam for 2 reasons. First of all, they often come up in the use of English parts of the exam. You know, Cambridge loves to test prepositions, your knowledge of prepositions, and particularly in collocations or in phrases. And the other reason is that you can use them in your essays and your reports and your proposals, particularly the ones I'm teaching you today, because they're quite formal. So the first one I have for you today is in light of. In light of, or sometimes you may see in the light of, but that's a little bit more old-fashioned and we don't see in the light of so much these days. And it means considering or as a result of. So here are a couple of examples. In light of the survey's findings, it is recommended that the budget be increased. So this could be from a report or a proposal, for example, and the author is saying in light of, so considering, so taking into consideration the findings, the budget should be increased. Another quick example, because often you see this phrase in light of in notices when an institution or an organization has to inform people of a situation. So the example, in light of recent events, the concert has been cancelled. So in this case, it's really as a result of recent events, the concert has been cancelled. Okay, the next one is at stake. At stake. So the preposition is at and the object is stake. And this basically means at risk or in danger. From the examples, I think you'll understand it. The meeting is of paramount importance as the company's reputation is at stake. So the company's reputation is at stake. The company's reputation is at risk. It's in jeopardy, we could say. Other things that are often used with at stake, we could say jobs are at stake. So, you know, the decisions we take are very important because jobs are at stake. So jobs are at risk or in danger. Or even we say lives are at stake. We need to save this person because his or her life is at stake. And the next one is on balance. On balance. Now, you may be able to guess what this means, but often students in Cambridge English exams use the correct phrase in the right context, but they use the wrong preposition. So they may say in balance instead of on balance. And that's a pity because they've got the right phrase, they understand how to use it, but they just get the preposition wrong. And that's a big part of the exam. You know, the examiners are looking for that type of thing. And on balance basically means taking everything into consideration. So in an essay, in a discursive essay, which you have to write in the Cambridge English exams, C1 Advanced, for example, you may want to say at the end, in the conclusion, you know, on balance, so taking everything into consideration that has been discussed previously, this is what is believed. Let's have a look at the example. On balance, the benefits outweigh the risks. So taking everything into consideration, the pros, the cons, the advantages, the disadvantages. On balance, the benefits outweigh the risks. Another quick example. On balance, it is believed that it is education that should receive increased investment. So when I came up with this example, I was really thinking of the essay tasks in the Cambridge English exams. Often you have to take a decision, you have to choose one aspect, one factor, something you have to decide in your essay, and the decision should be based on what you have discussed before, what you have written previously in the essay. So on balance is a really nice and useful prepositional phrase. And the next one is particularly formal, it's particularly academic, which can be appropriate, again, depending on the task you're writing, depending on the register that you're using for your essay or your report or your proposal. And it's in accordance with, in accordance with. And this really means according to or following. So the example, participants were selected in accordance with the research criteria. And again, this could be appropriate for a report or a proposal where you're explaining how you got the results, how you got the numbers or the statistics or the information or the data that you're presenting in the report. Okay, the last one, number 5, at face value, at face value. So this means as it appears or as something appears, but specifically without further or deeper analysis. So it's quite superficial. Often we say to take something at face value. So the example, the data should not be taken at face value. Further research is needed. So this phrase is often used in the negative because we don't usually want to take things at face value. So we're usually saying don't take it at face value. So in this case, the data should not be taken at face value. I think this is a really useful prepositional phrase nowadays in particular, because we have so much information and we can't really trust information. Often we just get headlines and clickbait and very catchy titles, but we need to dig a little deeper to really get the information and get the truth, not just take everything at face value. If Donald Trump says something and it makes news headlines, don't take it at face value. Do your research, read up about it, and do some critical thinking. So I'm finishing on a bit of a serious note, but I hope you found those phrases, those prepositional phrases, useful. Don't forget, if you are preparing for a Cambridge English exam, check out my online preparation courses where I look at all the parts of the exam and share all my tips based on my many, many years of experience. Okay, I'll see you very soon for another video.